Dale Gilberts. Welcome to my live call tonight. And it's what you better do in the next 72 hours. And I'm going to talk about what that is. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. I started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck to get started, put $200 into my business, and the last almost 28 years now, I've been full-time in network marketing. If that interests you, keep listening. I'm going to acknowledge some wonderful people joining, and we'll see who comes out of the shadows into the campfire. You can say where you're from if you'd like, unless you're hiding from someone, and then I understand that. So nice to have you tonight. And our first person, hello, is Daniel. Bonjour, my French friend. I hope you're doing well, Daniel. I don't know what it's like over there, but I hope it's okay. And then who else do we have? Hadas, nice to see you. Diane, nice to see you. And let's see, who else? Yedalai from Northeast India. Nice to see you, Yedalai. And then Mark in Huntsville, Alabama. Nice to see you. Diane in the Philippines. Nice to see you. Danny, forgot where you're from, but nice to see you. Reagan in Indonesia, in the country of Indonesia. Nice to see you. Carlos, what's up? Michael J. Smith in Texas, what's up? Good to see you, Michael. And Jenny in North Carolina. Hope you're doing well. And Marina, don't remember where you're from, but nice to see you on the call. And Monica in the Philippines. Good morning, she says. Good morning. And Danny in New Jersey, nice to see you. Ciro in Salt Lake City, nice to see you as well, Ciro. Well, we got people from all over the world on this call, spread out everywhere. Isn't it amazing? It's so easy to take technology for granted. It's just, but a few years ago, who would have believed we were doing this? Yes, Yedalai, nice to see you. And I hope you're doing okay in your lockdown in Northeast India. That's hard because she goes out door to door, door knocking and selling her products. She's an amazing woman. You talk about a retailer, she crushes it. Mitch, how are you? Good to see you. And Kelly in Illinois, how are you, Kelly? Nice to see you. And Marlena from the Philippines, nice to see you. George in New York City, good to see you, George. And Anna, nice to see you as well. Yvonne, Anna in Florida, and also Yvonne Hyde in Florida. Good to see you. So we talked about last night, if some of you were on this call, if not, you missed it, then you can catch it on my page. And Brandon, nice to see you in Arkansas. We talked about 4 key factors that have to be in place if you want to keep people with you in the business. One being simplicity, the value of simplicity, and then an achievable action plan. Achievable means anybody can do it. And then the third was online tools, and the fourth being platforms that are going to support people, give culture, give direction, give recognition, things like that. So let's now, and we're talking about, when we talk about 4 key factors in keeping people with you, we're talking about onboarding people. And so I'm going to talk about the next 72 hours, what you better do. Now, what does that mean? That has to do with people that you bring into your business. When you bring a new person in, we're talking about the first 3 days, the next 72 hours. What you do in that time period is the most critical part of the onboarding system. I know my friend Bob, Bob Heilig, he talks about the 3-7-30. Well, we've been teaching the 3 for decades. And the 3 is what I want to hone on in. The first 3 days is what I want to hone in on. And that is that 72 hours, why that's important. What we have to keep in mind is why it is the most critical time in the onboarding process of a new person is that they have the most excited beliefs about your business, and at the same time they have this fear, they have this lack of confidence that they can do it. So which is going to win is going to determine a lot by what you do. And what you do is very important to that new person. Most people just sign them up and hope for the best. And usually it's a disaster when you do that. So that first 72 hours is so critical when you onboard somebody. Now here's what I want you to understand and remember this. Not everybody you sign up or sponsor do you onboard. So you don't onboard everyone that you sign up. Some people you don't onboard. For example, if it's a customer, if it's somebody that's just coming in, they say, well, I'll try the product, and if the product works, then I'll recommend it to others. Don't you hate that? I always hate that. But, okay, that kind of person I'm not going to onboard because they're not on board. They're not on the ship yet, right? Okay? They're still thinking about it. They're going to try the product and see if it works, okay? Oh, man, So, and by the way, if you have somebody that says that, hey, Mindy, nice to see you. If you have somebody that says that, the best thing you can do is say, sure. I can appreciate that. You know what I like to do, Debbie, is I'm going to add you into a Facebook group. You have to accept it, okay? But I'll add you, and that's a product group. And what I want to do is I want you to see the stories and what's going on with people using the product. And then I want to talk to you. Let's set up a time tomorrow. Will that work for you? Great. Why would I do it that way? I do it that way because I don't want this to be on trial. Good grief. You got 10, 15, 20, whatever people in a group sharing what the product's doing. This thing's not on trial. These are humans. These are not aliens. They're not aliens. So these are people that are humans that use the product. So there is no trial. It works. So the evidence is there. This thing's not on trial anymore. So that's usually how I deal with that. But just understand that when we talk about onboarding people, we're not talking about customers. We're talking about people that are going to join your team and do the business. Now, how do we know the difference? How do we know who we should on board and who we shouldn't on board? Well, it's simply going to be by the questions you ask. And it's just this simple, isn't it? Hey, Debbie, can I ask you, why did you join? I'm excited that you did. But share with me, if you will, why you did join. and then don't say anything else, okay? Just listen. and if she opens up and says, well, you know what, I really like that video you sent me about the product, and I just want to use that product. I'm interested in good health. Well, that's not going to be somebody I'm going to spend time onboarding, because they haven't made the decision to do the business. On the other hand, if they say, you know what, I really enjoyed that video you sent me about the product. I'm interested in the product, but I can see that there's a big business potential for this product. I can think of people who would want it, and I need to earn extra money. That person you would onboard, and that person you would spend time with. You would give them your time. So that's the difference. And how we determine who we onboard and who we don't is based on the questions, the question that you ask. And then listen, and again, don't read into it. Don't put words into their mouth. Some people say, well, don't you need to make money? Don't you have dreams? It's got to come out of their heart. It can't come out of your heart, right? That makes sense, right? Right. So the thing about it is, what we have to understand is in the first 72 hours, that determines when a person joins you, when you begin the onboarding process, the next 72 hours is going to determine whether basically they're going to stay with you or not. I mean, people are, they can lose enthusiasm. Last night I talked about that, right? When people join, it's the romance phase. Nothing can go wrong. Everything is perfect, okay? Until they start posting about their products on their Facebook page, and they're trying to reach their friends and nobody's answering the phone, or they run into disappointments, and then they're out of here. So again, that's why this process is so important. So there's two things that you want to do when you consider the onboarding process, and basically the first one is share a resource. Share a resource. So what I mean is, you want to have something written down. It can be a PDF, if you will, and that is, it's giving them step-by-step instructions. Remember yesterday I spoke about that. It shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 pages, or as we said in the old days, if you can write it on a napkin in a restaurant, then that's a good thing. In other words, it's not complicated. We're only talking about simple steps that they need to take in the onboarding process. So share a resource. So some of that resources that you might want to share is, like, for example, how do they get into their back office? You might want to spend some time showing them how to get into your company's back office. Maybe you can navigate them and talk to them about that. Also, if your company has an app, they need to download that app. That's an important thing for them to know, because that's a resource, isn't it? For example, if there's a PDF on one of your lead products, they need to know how to find that PDF. They also need to know how to send that PDF to someone, the link. Now you'd say, well, that's so simple. It is to you. To others, it's not, okay? All right, so the curse of knowledge is assumption. I assume you know something when you don't. Okay, and they don't want to be stupid, and say, well, I don't know how to do that. So thing is, just guide them. Say, do you know how to? I go through this all the time with leaders, and I'm telling you, it's true. They don't even know how to send their page to someone. I said, look, it's the company URL / your ID number. That's it. It's that simple. Now you have your own website, and shopping cart, everything they can enroll under you, get your kit, whatever it is, the products. I mean, it's all there. But again, we have to guide people. The curse of knowledge is assumption that we think that everybody knows this. They don't. And that's the reason why in the onboarding process, it's important to take some time with that person. So again, step one is getting them started with maybe a PDF, something written out. Here's the other thing, and that is making a list of their contacts. Some people think, well, why isn't that a little old-fashioned? I mean, they're all on the Facebook page. No, I will talk about that later. Making a list of people that they know. So I want them to empty their heads, and then what I want them to do is to make sure they're not prejudging people. Well, I don't want to call John, you know, he's a successful attorney in town. Let me see, Betty, she has a business. Yeah, she's doing really good. You know, and there's Bill. Well, he's got his own investment company. Well, heck, what are we looking for? We're looking for people who don't want more in life. We're looking for people who don't want to produce. We're looking for people who are not achievers. I mean, no. You know what? The kind of people that you're going to want to attract are people that are very goal-oriented. And believe me, they can multitask. And they like more than one stream of income. They really do. Some people make good money, but they don't have a lot of money left over at the end of the month to invest. They like to have that money. And then on the other hand, a lot of them are very stressed out. They're trading time for money, and there's no time left at the end of the week. They're exhausted. So again, when we work with that person and onboarding that person, we want that person to understand, don't prejudge when you make your list. And then if you want, you could also, if it's a PDF that they fill out, and George, you can post it. I can show you a simple one. You can design your own. The problem with sharing a PDF that is a step-by-step instructions of what they need to do, the problem with some people is they want to turn it into a training, especially people that are gifted with a lot of intelligence. They will complicate what needs to be the most simple action plan to take. And again, if it's more than a front and a back page on a PDF, it's complicated. You've heard me say this before, if it's more than 4 steps, it's complicated. But again, so the thing about it is that, and George will share that in a second, but just keep it simple. But don't turn it into a training. You simply want to get them to think. And at the same time, get them to commit. That is to commit time to the business. And then that'll lead us to and again, keep in mind that what a lot of people like to do at this stage is they'd rather train them than unlock them. And what I mean by unlock is that I want to find out what they're thinking, what their goals are. I don't want to spend all my time teaching them everything. Again, if we overwhelm them, they're not going to do anything. So again, you could also have a video example of you walking somebody through a PDF where you're going over those step-by-step instructions. So that's the first. Then here's the second. The second is getting with that person and putting a business plan together. Now, if you can't do that face-to-face, then just do it over Zoom. That'll be fine. But get that person to agree to meet with you or do a Zoom with you and spend no more than an hour going over their plan. You could take notes, have them take notes. It's important that you keep those notes. Here's a few things that you would have in that meeting. The first thing that you need to do is have the right expectations. We want that person to have the right expectations when they come into business. You know, if a person thinks they're going to come into this business and they're going to be earning $10,000 a month after their first 30 days, it's not very realistic, is it? So again, we have to look at what are their time commitments? How much time are they willing to commit? Is that realistic in what they expect to make? If it is, fine. If it's not, then either they got to put up more time into it or they need to back down on their financial expectations. But you have to work with them and be honest with them about that. We don't want to Pollyanna these people, right? We don't want to blow sunshine in their face. That's the worst thing that we could do, because that person would just get disappointed and then quit. So we got to help that person to understand, we'll say, look, are you a hobbyist or are you a professional? How do you see yourself in this? Because a hobbyist is a person that just wants to make a little money. A professional is a person who wants to make a lot of money, and they want to make it long term, not short term. So you want to know who you're dealing with. And then something that you need to make that very clear is that if they're going to be successful, understand it's going to depend on their commitment, their time, how much time are they going to put in? How teachable are they going to be? Are they willing to take time for some instruction, to get on some of your calls and things like that? I think I always say that, listen, John, my job is to help you do your job. But if you don't do your job, I don't have a job. In other words, there's nothing more I can do for you. But if you'll put forth the effort, then I'm going to support you and I'm going to help you. They need to understand that. They need to understand that you're not going to do it for them. So that's part of what you want to cover in the meeting. But it's like I said last night. Don't just sell the rainbows. Don't just sell look at the house you're going to have. Look at the car you're going to have. Yeah. Sell adversity. Sell disappointments. Sell the rain, not the sunshine. But let them know it's going to be worth it. In the end, it's going to be so worth it. So then when they go through those disappointments, when they prospect those people that they were so sure were going to join, were so sure that when they sponsored somebody that did come in, how great they were going to be, when in fact, shortly after, they quit. That they're going to go through those kind of experiences. When you prepare them emotionally for that, they're not devastated when it happens. They don't quit. They say, well, you know what? My sponsor told me that. My sponsor told me I was going to go through adversity. But my sponsor also said it was going to be worth it. I believe it. So, and when you add them to a Facebook group, have people talk about that. There's not enough discussions about that. I mean, if you look at all the disappointments I went through 10 companies, I believe, before my last one. 10 or 11, lost count. Anyway, companies that are no longer in existence, downlines that are no longer downlines, things that I went through. So it's so important to be able to share that and not pasteurize some of our experiences. Some people, they just develop an ego about it, and they don't want to talk about things like that anymore. It's like they were always perfect. They were always so intelligent. They always did things right. You know what? You can't sell that. It's not believable. It's not relatable to people. People want to find people that struggle. People want to find people that have been through it a lot, or been through the disappointments, that have been crushed, have been thrown down. So that's the thing that we have to remember when we have that one-on-one or that Zoom call with that person, and we're putting their business plan together, that we want them to hear that. That's so important that they hear that out of you. Very important. So the other thing is, they need to understand this is not going to be a get rich quick. This is a get rich slow. And it's better than the job market, which is never get rich. You're never going to get rich if you have a job. So get rich slow is okay. Let them understand that. And so once they have the right expectations, and again, that's so important. Make sure that they have that. Then they're going to go through, when they go through the hard times, they're going to be able to deal with it. Now here's the other is that you need to help them to discover their why. Their why. And you can simply ask them, hey John, why did you join? I'm so glad you did, but why did you? And then just listen, take note, and try to linger in the conversation without you talking. Because when John says, well, I could use some extra money. Yeah, that's sure, John. Great. What would you do with it? That's lingering. Oh, well, I mean, he opens up, he starts talking about, well, it's, I'm not getting paid any more at work. It is what it is. I don't see that changing. Oh, wow. How long has it been like that, John? That's lingering. How long has it been like that, John? Linger. That's what we do, folks. We linger into the conversation. We don't try to get to a destination that we are interested in. We want them to be able to appreciate there are reasons that drove them to say yes to you. What are those reasons? So get them to open up. And of course, if one way you can do that is you can also share your why, because that'll sort of guide them into similarities and like, wow, that's me too. I see it. Now here's a third is that help them to see what they can accomplish the first month in your business. Now we want something to happen in the first 72 hours, something positive. That's why you have to get involved with that person. Again, you're not doing it for them, but you're going to guide them, because when you put that list together and help them put that list together, guide them with that list, then what you want to be able to do is help them to see the type of people they have on the list. There's going to be people that they're going to practice on. There's going to be people that they're going to want to sponsor. These are good people. And so the ones that they want to practice on that they really don't think would be good necessarily for the business, that's okay. Go practice on them. Go fumble. It's okay. But what I want to happen in the first 3 days, the first 72 hours, I want to see something great happening in their business. That's what we want to do. So again, teaching them how to reach out to their prospects, and this would be the fourth part of that, is in when you sit down and go over the business plan, is tell them that very thing. What are the tools that they're going to use? What is the video that is the prospecting video? You cannot have prospecting videos. You might have a third-party video that you use, but there's got to be a video that is the video. If people in your team don't know what the prospecting video is, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. If your company has hundreds of videos and you're hitting them with the hundreds of videos, this new person is not going to know what to do. We're setting them up for failure. You should already know that. You should know what your prospecting video is. I know, because I have one and I'm in it. Ray Higdon's videographer, Ty, came to my house and filmed it. So if you ever don't have one and you need, I'd be glad to recommend you to Ty. He came here early in the morning and and continued at night. And when I say literally, I mean night. Started in the morning, went all the way into the night. And man, he drove me crazy. But he's such a good coach in putting a video together. So, but what is your official recruiting video? And then maybe if you have a lead product or a few lead products, do you have a video that explains that, a PDF? There's only a few things you're ever going to want to send a prospect, and it's a few things. Otherwise, we'd overwhelm a prospect. So this new person needs to understand what these tools are, so that we just don't leave them to chance to see what, how good they're going to do out there and fumble. It'll be a disaster. That's the reason why the first 72 hours is important, because that first day they can get familiar with the basic knowledge of your product and get familiar with the prospecting video, get familiar with the maybe the step-by-step PDF or your onboarding video that shouldn't be more than 3 or 4 minutes long, telling them what they need to do that month, their first month in the business. All you want to do is get some results. That's it. If I can get that person even making a few $100s, I've taken them out of no confidence to confidence that it's going to work out. So again, all that is part of the process. You know, because the last thing, because here's what they're going to do. If you don't do it that way, then they're going to go out there and they're going to start talking too much. They're going to talk too much to their prospects. They're going to talk them in the business and out of the business. Because the prospect's thinking, oh man, good grief, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk that much. Can't believe she's saying all that. And then again, lastly, you know, in talking with them, in your, you know, you're putting their business plan together. You, again, I mentioned this last night, I'll say it again. Tell them not to post on their Facebook page about their products or their company. Don't do that. Don't put their warm market on red alert that they just joined a network marketing company and then they go to Google. Google hates network marketing, by the way. And then they read all this negative stuff about network marketing. They're like, oh gosh, she got into one of those. Oh my gosh. Then they're not answering her phone calls, and then she gets discouraged and she quits. That's very important when you get on a Zoom call or face-to-face and you're going over the business plan, that they understand that. Don't do that. You can use Facebook the way you always used it before you joined. You know, you posted about your kids, your family, what you're doing, whatever, you know. So again, the first 72 hours is the most critical part of the onboarding process, and that's what we have to pay attention to. And I wanted to focus on that tonight. That's all. That's all I wanted to cover tonight. We can talk more maybe next week about some other things, but Friday is going to be a Q&A discussion. I'm looking forward to that. And I appreciate all of you guys getting on this call tonight. It's awesome, wonderful, beautiful summer day today. I just love being outside and just having fun. Anyway, just having fun on the mountain. But anyway, you guys be safe in what you do. And I'll put out some information tomorrow. Hopefully you get value out of that. So keep going, stay busy in this time. Disconnect from the news. So much crap out there. You know, between the politicians who are idiots and just, you know, just so much stuff, so much negative stuff and conspiracy theories and all that. I just don't have time to plug into it, and I don't even want to talk about it. But talk about positive things, things that, again, what do people want to hear? There's only one thing that they want to hear, is solutions to their problems in what? In life. That's right. Solutions to their problems. And now they got a whole new set of problems because of everything that is changing. I know it's all the news about Starbucks is going to be closing hundreds of their stores. You know, this whole impact of COVID-19 has really changed a lot. And even when we go to the new normal, whatever that is, it's really going to change the way people work. I mean, there's going to be a lot of service industries that are going to be crushed. They're going to be looking for people like you. So the people that stay focused, stay positive, stay busy, doing these things are going to be the future winners in network marketing. And I hope that's you. So glad you came tonight. Everyone have a wonderful night. And I'll see you Friday. Take care.